Okay, so welcome everybody, welcome leaders to our brain picking session with Tamara. Who has a question?
First of all, I want to say that I love being on here. I told Krista that I was, most of the Zooms I do, I have a certain topic that I'm, training on, and just to be able to see y'all's faces and just chat with you like we're hanging out in the living room together, I love that, just the casual relax. So please feel free to be completely open. Nothing formal about this. This is as casual as it gets, and just, still your heart, still half your heart, whatever you want to do here. But just know that I just want to be here to help you guys and guide you in any way that I possibly can. So.
Okay, I'll start. If no one's going to start, I'll start.
All right, Jana.
Okay, so as your team gets larger, and like Carissa said, we don't have access to you like she does. Just like my leaders feel like they don't have access to Carissa like I do. So as your team gets larger and larger, how do you, or is it a point to maintain relationships or connect with people who are lower levels? Like, how do you reach down deep and create that community in your team whenever you are, you have your level ones and then they have their, it's a lot of people. But I want to connect with them and I want to create a community. However, they don't feel like they have access to Carissa, just like I feel like I don't have access to you, Tamara. So you know what I mean? There's like these people, like Tamara is this celestial being, but I'm still on your team, and
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay, well, first of all, you all have access to me. I just want to put that out there.
You're better than me, because I'm like, look, guys, don't tell your people to email me. You be the one.
This is what I tell people. Now, in the beginning, probably up till I was even enrolled, I would even do calls for like level 5 because I was just trying to grow a really strong. I saw a couple eyebrows raised when I said that, but I was trying to build a really strong foundation, and I realized very quickly though that I could not maintain that, and so I kind of switched my focus to really connecting with my runners or anyone that I saw that stood out. Carissa is a great example of that. She's my level 3, but before she was even gold, she stood out to me. I saw so much in her. I feel like I believed in her whether she knew it or not before she completely believed in herself. And I remember telling Jessica, I was like, that girl is going to go all the way. And so I wanted to connect with her. I wanted to know her. I wanted her to know me. So I think it's super important that you are connected to especially those foundational levels of your 1, 2s, and 3s that you see huge potential in. You see just get into level, get into emerald, sapphire, diamond, and on, so that you can build that relationship. I think that connection and building relationships is one of the most important things in building a strong foundation team and in team culture. It's all about connection to help motivate others, building belief into others, building trust, building loyalty. So look for those people that stand out, especially in your first 3 levels. Okay, but here's an example. I have a level 4. She was a level 4. She is now compressed all the way up as a level 1. But I had a relationship with her. But the 3 people in between, they dropped off the face of the earth. She is now officially my level 1 and working the business hard. And I noticed her from the beginning. And so I reached out to her. I believe I was a senior Ruby at the time. And we formed a friendship. We formed a relationship. And like I said, she's my level 1 now. And so you never know what building that connection and that rapport with. And I'm not saying you have to throw all your time into them. Please hear me. I'm not saying that. But just building some sort of trust and connection where they go, well, the 2 people above me, they're not doing anything. But you know what? I have a relationship with Tamara or with Jana. I can at least reach out to her for some guidance. And you never know where that will lead you. And when I say that you have access to me, what I mean by that is I would, if anyone has like a, something they want to run by me, or please don't ask me, like how much PV for the triplex, but like big picture stuff, I am here for you guys. Sometimes people will come to me just to brainstorm or say, I'm stuck in this one area, maybe in influencing my network. Do you have any ideas for me? I just ask a lot of questions to try to get to the root of it. So you guys can come to me for big picture stuff, please. Always feel free. Does that help, Jana, as far as just looking at, where you need to put your time and your effort and your connection?
It does. My main concern with connecting is overstepping boundaries. If I want to connect with a level 4, overstepping boundaries of a level 2, 1, 2, 3, because I want them to do their job.
Sure.
I want them to do their job. But at the same time, I do want to connect with that person, especially if they're a rock star. Within my team, that is the case. I have a level 3 rock star. Level 1 and 2, not so much.
Yeah.
So I want to connect with her. But I think for me, that just means fostering a relationship. And when she asks me questions, answer them.
Well, and you know what? Are the 2 above her actually working the business, but they're just not rock stars per se?
They are working the business, but they're posting. They're not adding anyone. They're just like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I think that one way to view, for example, a rock star level 3 is, they're your team too, and you are their upline. And it's more than just, I don't feel like fostering a relationship with anyone on your team is stepping on toes or over, doing boundaries. I feel like upline, downline, sidelines, we can all learn from each other. And so to have that connection with them is only going to help them. And so you're doing it for them. You're not doing it to hurt the 1 and 2. You're doing it to foster a relationship with her. So that's kind of my take on it. I did have a level 1 a while back who did not want me to engage with her team because she wanted her team to see her as the leader. And they were kind of viewing me as the leader, so to speak. And so she tried to pull her team away from me. And about 6 months later, I let her. I just kind of stepped back, and the relationships I already had, I continued to foster those, but I didn't continue to create more. I wanted to respect her. And she came to me about 6 months later and just apologized and said, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? They're your team too. And anything you can provide, that's helping me, work smarter and not harder. And so, that's kind of my thoughts on that, a little side story. But I think it's important for them to know who you are.
Okay, yeah.
Krista, do you want to add anything to that?
You and I have talked a lot about boundaries and where we differ on how we've drawn our boundaries. So for me, it's kind of like, I'm just curious if maybe you feel like maybe I'm need to be doing it differently. But you've seen me, I think you've seen me post on my leadership page before, like if you have a customer service issue, please feed it up through your upline, help me not have a huge inbox and maybe that's why your team feels like they don't have access to me, Jenna. I don't want that. But at the same time, I've just had the hardest time ever. It's like, no matter what I do, I'm 40 messages behind every day.
Sure. Well, and I think, Krista, one thing I learned, and I've done things a lot differently since even you joined. I was so accessible that I kind of set a precedent, and I don't recommend that, because then you literally have level 7s asking you, the craziest questions. And so I'm primary red, but I do have quite a bit of yellow. I'm a people pleaser. I want to make sure everybody's happy, everybody's comfortable, everybody's doing good. But I did have to start saying, have you asked your upline that question? Like when it was something simple that they really shouldn't be coming to me about. And they were like, oh no, I just thought I would ask you really quick. I was like, that's really the kind of thing you need to ask, your upline, but please feel free to come to me if you want me to look at, a message you're going to send to a dream teamer, or if you're brainstorming, how you can, grow your network, like something along those lines. And that has helped me a ton. Just that simple question, hey, have you reached out to your upline about that? But feel free to come to me about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like my boundaries have gotten a lot better because I was on my phone, and I'm not even kidding, 12 hours a day. I mean, it was insanity. I was like neglecting my child. And I'm just being honest with you. And so I had to figure out a different way. So don't set a precedent. You got to find that line between, setting a precedent that you're always there and being there for those people that are going to be enrolled. And so you want to foster that relationship.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was all about that. So who else has a question? Or if you have another one, Jana.
Jana, I want to make sure that helped you. If there's something more, if you want to message me after, that's fine too.
It did. You helped. That helps. That answered my question. So thank you.
Okay, I do have one. If you, Tamara, at the stage you're at now, with having grown to, Diamond, and you've re-entered, right?
I haven't. I've started building under my husband.
Okay. So at the point you have built to now, I feel like as Jules, it can be challenging even to go silver again every month, or how it was tough to earn the planner, and that wasn't even silver. That was just any combination of 3 new elements. So what would you do right now if you had a goal and you wanted to recruit 5 people this month? What would you go out and do? Given the fact that you have really reached your warm market, we've kind of all been watching Bridget Ryan's video recently about how to bring a lot of Amy Paul, and how to go out there and get more people into that funnel. But I'm just curious about you personally, if in December you really wanted to recruit 5 people, what would you do?
So are you speaking to as a diamond where I'm at versus at a lower rank?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you're at right now, or even if you were Emerald right now, but let's say you were Emerald and you didn't have quite enough Emerald months to qualify for Hawaii, but for whatever reason, you had a huge fire in you that you needed to get your numbers up, your personal numbers up. What?
Yeah. Probably, the same thing you guys are doing. I'm on a very strict follow-up schedule. So I would probably just up my follow-ups. I would probably try to think of a fun incentive to offer my potentials just that I'm doing, or maybe get my upline involved with that and just go to them with something exciting. For example, right now, I don't know if y'all watch my Facebook Live video, but I'm messaging the heck out of my potentials right now with the 12 days of Christmas that Plexus is doing, because it's something different. It's something unique that I've never been able to bring to them before.
What are you talking about? What 12 days? New?
Yes, it is. So every day for starting yesterday through the next 12 days, Plexus is offering 30 bottles of Boost one day, 30 bottles of Mega X, an iPad, a Apple Watch, a Coach wallet. All these different things. And so I did a post about it, first of all. Chris is like, what? And then there's amazing giveaways. And so I'm messaging them, and it's doing 3 things. I'm creating some excitement and some energy. I'm showing them how awesome Plexus is, something so generous they're doing. And it's giving me a reason to follow up with people that, maybe I've sent them my testimony. I've reached out 10 times. And it's just giving me something new to go with them on. And I've gotten really good response already, just that they're going to go and comment, they're engaging with Plexus. So, that's something I'm doing currently right now, and in hopes that I get some new customers.
Well, let me ask you a question about that real quick.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your current potentials, me at any given time, here's my list right now of people that I'm in active conversations with.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got probably a much larger list of people who have gone silent on you. They were interested at one point, but maybe you're in that stage of just okay, but what if you needed to go out and create a ton of new conversations right now where you are?
Mm-hmm.
What if you didn't have a list this long to go and message about the 12 days of Christmas?
Yeah. I think just fostering new relationships. Something I'm working on right now is, I have a 5-month-old, and I've been active on Baby Center since I found out I was pregnant. And so I've actually formed about 3 different pods of groups of women, and I've created these Facebook groups Some women like dealing with sleep issues with their babies. Some that we live, all live in Arkansas, just in different areas. And so we found these common connections. And so I created these Facebook groups, just offered to do so. And I'm building relationships with these total strangers. Some are in Washington. There's one girl in Canada. I've just been, my warm network is gone fairly cold. I mean, I still have a few people that like some big fish that I'm going after, but I know those people, it's going to take longer to foster that. I approach people differently than I did in the beginning, because I'm really going after quality versus quantity at this point. So, but with those strangers, I'm fostering I'm on Facebook every single night, talking and engaging with these women that I don't know. And slowly but surely, as I'm connecting and earning rapport with them, I'm friending them on Facebook, and they're starting to ask me about Plexus. But, and I've talked about this before when y'all did the Maui Momentum, is finding those ways, outside of your comfort zone, outside of your box, to meet strangers, whether it's following Bridget Ryan's tips on Instagram, whether it's, finding groups that you can have something in common with, like maybe a certain disease state or a work at home mom group, or, like what I'm doing with Baby Center. Find common ground with people that you don't know and start building those relationships. It can take a little bit longer. Megan Garrity is an example. She's a level 1 emerald of mine. When I was pregnant with Abigail, Abigail, I think, was like a year old. We became friends on Baby Center. And it took me about 2 years, but she ended up joining my team, and she is now an Emerald Ambassador. We met 6 months after she joined at a convention for the first time. So just, forming those relationships with strangers and finding a niche. You got to find your niche where you can, build that rapport with people and earn trust.
Mm-hmm. I'll add something interesting there. When Chris got into med school, I went to town friending everybody that he would meet. Like, he would come home and be like, I met a girl named Caitlin Trostel today, and I'd go friend her.
Yeah.
And then, like, it was so funny. He told me just tonight, he was like, I was studying with Caitlin Trostel, and she was telling me she, like, watches all of your live videos. And I was thinking back, like, the most recent video I did was about Jana winning Silver Stars.
Yeah.
And going on and on about that. And I thought, why does she watch my live videos? But, like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, the same thing. I friended all the girls in Barry's PA school program. Like, I was just friending away, and I would start these conversations with him, and I would build relationships with him. And y'all, he graduated almost 2 years ago, and I have some of his girls that he was in class with coming to me today, not today, but like in the past few weeks, asking me questions. Yeah. And so, like I said, it could take longer with some of those people you don't know, because you don't have influence over them at first, but you can build influence just by them watching you, and how you're presenting yourself. So that's, great point, Carissa.
Well, and what's crazy to me is how when you do develop and hone that influence, people who don't know you can tell you have it. Yeah. I'm like, why is this girl watching my video?
Yeah. Well, it's like people, it's that law of attraction. People are drawn to you for different reasons. And if you're positive, if you, you're creative in how you post about your personal life and Plexus, of course, but the personal life is what most people are going to be drawn to. And then because they fall in love with your personal life and who you are, and pictures of your kids and all that good stuff, then they start to period about Plexus. But it's like they fall in love with who you are first, and then they look at Plexus.
Yeah. Jana?
Yeah. So so Tyler works at the hospital. He's a PA too. And so he keeps telling me, there's a nurse, she'd be great at Plexus. Her name is da-da-da-da. Well, okay, I want to friend her. She looks amazing. She's very attractive. Her lifestyle's attractive. I don't know her. I feel kind of weird being like, hey, my husband really likes you. And I think you're great, so want to be my friend. I don't know what to say to her or anyone else that he says. She's a nurse. She's disgruntled. She has a kid. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom. I know she would be great at Plexus. And so I say, well, sign her up. You do it. But how do you approach those people? What do you say when you don't know them?
Yeah. Are they friends? But your husband's friends with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, oh my gosh. My husband, we were sitting at dinner the other night, and he was just telling me how great you are at X, Y, and Z. I just want to friends with you and get to know you a little bit, and then say something like, I saw a picture of, a vacation you went on, your kid doing this, like just something personal, just to kind of open that conversation and just kind of cut it off for a little bit, build that rapport, let her watch you. And then in a few weeks, maybe you go to her and say, okay, I didn't want to say this at the beginning, or, hey, my husband and I were chatting about you again, and he said, da-da-da-da. I just want to, see if you're open to let me share this with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you do want to approach her at some point versus letting her watch you for a little bit.
Right.
But I've done that. I mean, there's a girl that Barry went to school with that I was dying to have her on my team. And so I planted a seed before we graduated and just, said how much my husband respected her and just started that open line of conversation. So, yeah. You can do it, Jana.
Oh, I do it all. Like, I friend people, like if somebody makes a status I like, I friend the people who comment on it that I agree with. Like if so, like all this political stuff recently, if someone did a political status I liked, I friended all the people whose comments I liked. And then they were like, do I know you? And I was just like, I just liked your political opinion. I thought you sounded awesome. Anyway,
it seems like I'm just now learning Instagram, but it seems like Instagram is a really easy way as far as you can follow people for no reason. And a lot of times they see someone follows them, they don't know their name, and they go and look at your page. I've noticed that as I follow people that, I like their pictures, they look attractive, they said something funny, whatever it is. And I'll notice they'll come and like a post of mine. So they're like, who is this new girl who just followed me? And then they're seeing my stuff. And so it's putting another layer of connection with us. So even just looking for people on Instagram and following them, they may come right back and follow you.
Yeah. Who else? Does anyone else have questions?
I do. I have a question.
All right, Jessica.
Okay, so this is about my current team. God bless them. How do you balance? I'm struggling with building momentum with my team, and I am struggling with figuring out the balance between investing in my current leaders that I see potential in, and they've said I want to do this, but they maybe get a little bit of momentum and then they kind of fall off. How do you balance continuing to grow them and invest in them with still needing to reach out and grow wide? Does that make sense?
So you're struggling, your leaders aren't really acting as leaders. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. They say they want it, but then they don't walk the walk kind of thing. They'll get excited and jump on board with a 20-day challenge and maybe do the first 5 or 7 days, and then I don't hear anything from them for a month or something. You know what I mean?
Okay. So let me ask you this. Have you had any tough conversations with them? Loving to be tough.
Probably not tough enough. I probably shy away from that more than I should.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not easy. Confrontation in any form is not easy. But I think tough love, if they say they want it, and you see things in them that you believe they really could they could really go far if they went all in, I think it's time for some tough love conversations with your leaders. And it could be, okay, you said you were going to do this 20-day challenge. I noticed that you stopped commenting after the first few days. I just want to, lovingly check in with you and see what's hindering you. I feel like there's something holding you back. I think that's a really great question. What do you feel might be holding you back? And also, just for future reference, I think when they are showing you that excitement, Jessica, and they're like, yes, I'm all in, I'm going to do this challenge, ask them right then, can I hold you accountable to that? Can I check in with you in a few days and hold you accountable? And you know what? You hold me accountable. So then it's not just like a rah-rah fest, yay, I'm glad you're doing this, woohoo! But it's, okay, I'm gonna keep you to that, because I know if you complete the 20 days or the 30 days or whatever it is, or the book club, you're going to see so much growth in yourself and in your business. So I'm going to check in with you every week to keep you going with that. I think you have to do that for some people. And I don't think it's necessarily hand-holding. I think it's just having accountability. I have a level 1 who needs accountability. If she knows I'm going to check in with her once a week about the challenge she committed, she does it. I'm telling you. Like, and I'll even say, you told me you were going to send me your dream board yesterday. What happened? And she's like, oh my gosh, I have it halfway done. I promise I will send it to you. Like, thanks for, checking on me. And so I think for some people, until it becomes habit for them, even more natural for them from that inner motivation, hold them accountable. It really can make the difference. And ask them some tough questions.
Okay. So then whenever you get into this conversation with them and, maybe you're volleying back and forth a little bit, but then it just goes crickets, how do you know when to keep trying to re-engage the conversation, and how do you know when to not write them off, but stop pouring into them as much? Do you know what I'm saying? That balance. I'm not one to just cut people off, but I'm also this isn't productive for either of us, So
this is the way that I kind of determine that is if someone is saying, for example, Tamara, I just feel stuck. I need some ideas about this, about that. What can I do? And I give them challenges, like an activity to do, a video to watch, and I tell them I'm going to check back in with them in 3 days. I put it on my calendar. If I check back in with them and they haven't done it, that speaks volumes to me. So if you issue them a challenge, which with a challenge to me, it's activity with accountability for something that's going to address what they're struggling with. If they don't do it, they're not serious about it. And that was a hard lesson for me because I wanted to keep pulling people. For so many people, I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. Yeah. And I'm sure that you feel that way too. And it's very frustrating. But that's the route that I would go, honestly, because you have to be able to let those people go, let them know you're there for them. But if they're not going to put the effort in and meet you halfway, you gotta start investing in other people that have that burning desire to go forward.
Right. Okay. I have another question for you too. You mentioned a little while ago that you are on a very strict follow-up schedule. What's your follow-up schedule like?
So what I mean by that is I used to follow up by just going through Facebook Messenger and seeing who I had chatted with in a while. Mm-hmm. And now on my calendar, I think it's in the kitchen. On my calendar, I have names written in blocks on my calendar that I follow up with. And once I follow up with them, I move them, some to 2 weeks out, depending on how new of a contact they are, some a month out, some even 2 months out. Here's an example that I'm so excited about. When I was a silver ambassador, I reached out to a gal who was my dream team. She was the most influential person in college. Everybody loved her, just major people person. And she has shot me down time and time and time again. And I started spacing my follow-ups out to 3 months, then 4 months. I don't think I ever went longer than 4 months reaching out to her. But I would just I did a really cold approach with her because she's a yellow, very strong yellow. And I knew if I pushed her too much with my redness that she'd be like, I'm out. So I wanted to keep that line open. About 2 months ago, she came to me and she was like, okay, there's been about 15 to 20 people now that have reached out to me about Plexus specifically. We're not even counting all the other companies. And she was like, I'm the most skeptical person ever, but okay, I'm going to try product. What do you want me to try? And she is on the triplex right now and liking it. And something she told me, and I'm telling you this story to encourage you with follow-up, it's very easy to give up on people that tell you no or ignore you, and both happen with her. And she said, the reason I'm coming to you out of all the 15 people that have reached out to me is because you kept reaching out to me and you never pressured me. You never pushed me. And I teach this, guys, and she said this. She doesn't know that I teach this, but she said, it's like you would give me a nugget every time you reached out to me. Like you would tell me one, great thing about Plexus, or you'd send me a testimony, or you tell me about an incentive that was going on. And she's like, it was a really soft approach, but it's like I was learning more and more over the course of the past 3 years. Mm-hmm. And so all that to say, guys, don't ever not keep following up with someone. 3 years in the making, y'all. 3 years. And if this girl joins my team, I mean, whoa. So anyway, So looking at that follow-up schedule, like I said, I have my list of people. I can even screenshot it later if you want me to and send it to you. And then I move them to 2 weeks out or 4 weeks out or a month out, whatever that looks like for that specific person. And I have a note section too where I write out if they ignored me or, what their response was and, continuing the conversation. So it's not rocket science. It's pen and paper.
Okay, cool. I appreciate knowing, I know there's not one right way to do it, but I like getting different ideas, because I've been trying a system that's not working for me. So
yeah, you know what?
Screenshot it.
I tried to do like an index file card system where I move their names, and I was like, this isn't me. This is too complicated. I'm trying to be too fancy for me. And it literally, since I have done the calendar, I've been doing it for well over a year or so. That's worked for me, and I don't drop the ball. And if something comes up on a day that I haven't written out on Thursday or Friday, life happens, I have their names written there. So I just do it on Saturday. So I love that visual for me. I'm very visual, and that's what's worked for me.
Can I ask, when someone has really told you no, what does the next follow-up look like?
I move it out to about 3 or 4 months, and the line I use is, okay, I know a few months ago you were totally against Plexus. You were so not interested, but I know things can change in life, and I just want to see if maybe now might be a better time for you. And it just opens that conversation up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Helpful.
And if they ignore you after that, are you like, all right?
Yeah, yes. Like I said, I will space it out because I am actually aggressive, but I don't act like I'm aggressive. I hide it. I'm serious. I'm a very assertive person, but I think one thing that is so important in network marketing with reaching out to people and with leading your team is you have to adjust your personality to the other person's personality. So, what I really want to say is, why the heck is it taking you 3 years? If you would listen to me 3 years ago, you would be like, you could cast me. You are unbelievable. But I can't, because I know that would have her push me completely away. And so I think we have to be so in tune to people's personalities so that we can really connect with them on a deeper level. So we get on their level where they are at mentally and emotionally. And I think that will carry you far. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, well, we're down to less than 1 minute, so it may kick us off. I don't have the premium. This is part of my boundaries.
That's good, Chris. I can learn a lot from you.
See ya. No, but I would love to do it again, Tamara, if you're ever willing.
Sure, absolutely. I don't feel like I have enough time